Can you talk a little bit about when you do freeze your eggs and you choose to then go use them, what is the % of success rate? Can you just talk a little bit through that?
Yeah. If you are less than 35 and you froze eggs, I think it's a typical good rule of thumb to expect probably 90 to 80% of those eggs would survive the thaw or the warming process. So they need to be warmed before they can be fertilized. You fertilize to create an embryo. So that embryo then has to grow from day 1 to day 5, and typically 40 to 50% of embryos will make it to that day 5 stage. So that's why when we are counseling women about egg freezing, there is an expected natural drop off at each stage. We actually recommend that you freeze between 12 and 15 eggs per child that you desire if you're 35 or younger when you do egg freezing. So if you wanted an insurance policy for one child, 12 to 15 eggs. If you want insurance policy for 2 children, then we have to double that number.
I think that a lot of people would just assume 1 egg,
one baby.
One baby. What does that process look like, and how long would that be for us in the off season? Would it be off season? Would it be pre-season? And how much time are we out? Because I think that's it's a big question that looms over our heads.
Right.
Of how long?
To fit it in,
how do I fit this in, but then also continue to play and not miss anything?
Right. Anything. We can manipulate your period, right, to come when we want, and then normally you take fertility medications for 7 to 14 days. Just depends on how your ovary responds. You have the procedure where we harvest or retrieve the eggs, and either we freeze them at that stage for future use, or if you're with a committed partner and you want to create embryos, then we fertilize them and then freeze embryos. So it is whatever way you want, eggs or embryos. But then I would say probably a week after the procedure to really let your ovary kind of shrink back down to normal size before you can really engage back in.
Because you have that heightened state of hormones and stuff, and it's probably not safe.
Correct. Heightened hormones, and your ovary is large, and obviously playing soccer, you guys are doing a lot of running and you're so agile. We don't want that ovary to twist on itself because that can be like a gynecologic emergency, so we don't want that. So I would say all in all to plan for 3 weeks where you don't want to be necessarily doing vigorous activity, which obviously every practice that you have is vigorous.
Yeah, very.
So probably, but could fit it in with in a 3-week time span.